Hey everyone, this is DJ Tech for the Underground Sound. Today with me is not Carlos Fandango, but a very special guest from Paris. Is it Paris, France?
Yes, I am in Toulouse now.
Toulouse.
Toulouse is in the south, but I'm living in Paris.
Okay, so from Paris, France, DeLaurentis, how are you today?
I am very fine. It's the end of summer. The weather is beautiful, and I am good.
Did you guys have a hot summer like we did as well? Like I know that temperatures all over the world were pretty much above normal, but in Florida especially, very, very, very hot. How was your summer in France there?
Yes, in France it was very hot too, like 40 degrees.
Celsius. Okay, I got you. I'll put, I'll,
So
I'll I'll put the
all
conversion
the
up there.
summer with it was no raining. It was very, very hot, and in near the ocean, we have a little place where fires are very intense. So it was horrible for people there, but no people blessed, and but it was awful for the nature and the forest there.
Okay. Well, I know in Europe you really don't have a lot of places with central air conditioning either, right? So is it more common in France to have air
No, it's
conditioning or
not common in France. It's always surprising when I'm going to America, because the difference between outside and inside, it's very high, and here we're not useful about air conditioner, so it's hot everywhere, inside, outside.
So, speaking of you being in the United States, you were recently in New York for the Bastille Day Festival. Um, can you give everybody an example of what the Bastille Day actually is, and give us your thoughts on how the festival went?
It's a French National Day. That's a very important day for us, because that's the day where people took the Bastille place during the Revolution. So it's our national day, and yes, it was very emotional for me to be there in New York, in America, and to celebrate this day with American people and a lot of French people, because there is a lot of French people in New York, and it was very, very fun and amazing for me to be there and to celebrate with all these people.
Very cool. I know that, well, I mean, the United States is made up of a lot of, nationalities. I haven't really seen that many French people in New York. Maybe I was just in the wrong spot. Who knows? But getting into your life here, tell me about your early childhood in France and what kind of relationship you had with your parents. What prompted you to get into your music?
I am born in the south of France, in a little, in a not a little, but a cool town called Toulouse. It's a city of jazz music. When I was young, there were a lot of jazz club uh, in place like that to listen to jazz musicians. And my father, he's a jazz pianist player too. So I grew up to listening him uh, at clubs, at home. He also arranged music for Claude Nougaro. I don't know if you know this very famous French singer,
Hmm.
known known because about the adaptations he put of American standards, jazz standards, into French language, and in France he's very, very famous, and it's yes, he, he used to sing and play jazz music, So with my father too. And it was for me the beginning of my me and the music. I remember when I was child of the piano of my father in the main room, and I remember it was simple and natural for me to put my hands and fingers on the keyboard and to try to search melodies, themes, chords. It was something very natural, and I see being a musician is a job. It's not something for few people to become a star or to have a career. For me, being a musician, the first idea I was is being a musician. It's a job life, because my father. That's why what I see when with my father, and I and it's so for me it was very natural uh, to embrace and this passion. Finally, I have from my little childhood, and when I was teen, I decided to learn more at the conservatory to learn music theory. It was important for me to understand what I was trying to play from my childhood. And so at the same time, I learned music at the conservatory. And as a self-taught, I learned production on a computer. And at the same time, I began to sing in jazz club standards, jazz standards. So all the things were the way I started to play music.
Let me ask you. You drew some inspiration from your father. Um, as far as your singing is concerned, did you ever take any vocal lessons, or did you just practice and practice and practice, and your voice is as good as it is now?
I think at the beginning my voice were very awful.
Okay.
I think some people have a gift with their voice or something like that. I think my gift were my musicality, because as I learn music from my child age, my very young age, and jazz music, so and classical music, I have my ears very easy for me to sing, to improvise, to sing in tune. And for a long time, that was the only compliment people said to me. It was, wow, it's amazing, you sing in tune. So for me, it's normal to sing in tune when you're a singer. But and after that, I took vocal lessons and courses at the conservatory and after at a jazz school to develop my technique. And it was and years after years, my voice is developed and grow up, and now it's my main instrument, and after is the piano and the keyboard.
You're very multi-versed in different musical instruments, as I've seen from watching some of your videos on YouTube there. But I know that let's dive into that a little bit later. Let me talk about your growth with music throughout the years, because going back, there's some older videos that you have that were more kind of like, let's say, pop.
Mm-hmm.
than electronic. What kind of made you break away from that kind of genre and go more into the electronic genre?
I think my music grew up with each release, and EPs and singles and albums I released, because for me it's like a sonic picture of the moment and of what I am at this moment. So my first EP was released in 2015, and I remember at this time I was playing a lot, just a piano and atmosphere with atmospheric chords, and I wanted to improvise on it with my voice. So my first EP was very intimate, with just a piano, voices, sound design, and not a lot of things. And after I gained in confidence, and so my music become more orchestral, with more production, and with all these tools, I wanted to put and add more instrument, because that was I'm hearing in my head for a long time, but it takes a long time and years to have the possibilities with my software, with and also it's expensive. So with the years, with the money and the confidence, I could put and add more things in my music. And with all these things, I build my song a little different, because it's less pop. It's structure, sometimes more like classical music or contemporary music, because it's the music I listen a lot at home. And with my new synthesizers, my new plugging, my new toys, I could finally go more produce this kind of music.
So, I know that you draw a lot of inspirations because I could hear a little bit of Vangelis in your music, possibly some Jar, and then obviously you go back into the jazz. And speaking of the vocal talent, you were actually on The Voice. I've seen clips. I couldn't find everything that I possibly could, but how was that experience being on The Voice and just kind of like doing your thing? Because you did Ring My Bell. I remember was the first one that I saw, which was
Yeah,
for an audition. So tell me about your experience with that.
it's for me, in a artist life, in an artistic life, it's an amazing experience, and it's a gift to live that, because it's unique. It arrives just one time in life. The first audition, the blind audition, it arrives just one time. And I compare that at the gladiator scene, when gladiators are in the arena,
Arena, yeah.
and they have the king and the people decided if it's life or death. And for me, The Voice, it's the same, because we have just 2 minutes to give everything we have in our our heart, our voice, and our potential. And it's in the silent. We arrive in a silent audience, and it's very scary when the coach decided to give you life finally. For me, it's a big gift and challenge on ourselves. Uh, So I have a very good memory of that.
I can only imagine how nerve-wracking that must have been waiting for one of the chairs to turn around and as you said, give you life there. Um, you've also been on TED Talk. You've been on numerous French shows that I've seen. You've done a lot of live sessions. I love the rooftop sessions. I love the live stuff that you have going on. Let me ask you, is music your full-time job, or do you work otherwise?
No, it's my full-time job. As I said to you, for me, being a musician, it's a full-time job, and it's a day life job, because I grew up seeing my father do the same, and for me, all my life I wanted and doing my best to put music at the center of my life, and at the beginning it was not easy to earn money with my music, but after 10 years of working hard every day, and sometimes doing bad or good choice, I don't know, but after all these years I finally find a way to earn money with my music. It's not a lot of money, but it's enough to pay my apartment, and my to put food in the fridge, and for me, yes, it's the success is here, is to every day, every morning, I wake up, and I know I'm going to spend my day to make music, and sometimes to make my own music, and for me that's the success here.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said myself, I don't need to be a millionaire as long as I could do something that I love full time. Then that is the reward there. So numerous TV experiences, TED Talk. Obviously, you were talking about Unica. We'll get to Unica in a second here. But you've been all over TV. I haven't seen much on social media, honestly, except for YouTube. Um, how do you feel? I have a very love-hate relationship with all of social media because I understand why it's necessary. But how do you feel that social media, let's signify, Spotify and Pandora, especially as far as streaming services go. But let's dive into also, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. How do you feel that social media now just kind of I personally think ruins music, uh,
Hmm.
because it affords everyone the opportunity to upload music. And I think they were saying that the recent statistic was 60,000 songs either per day or per hour were uploaded to Spotify. So this kind of takes away from musicians like yourself who are doing this as a full-time thing, because personally I think that you should be discovered and signed and you should be making millions of dollars. So how do you feel about the social media influence as far as music is concerned?
For me, it's different. Instagram, social media like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's very different from Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music. Uh, that's not the same. I have a friend. I think you know this quote from Dr. Dre.
Dre, man.
Yes, social media destroyed artist mystic,
Hmm.
and I agree with that, because I know when I love an artist, uh, I like to take the time to wait for his new album, for a new event, for a new information about his production, his music. Uh, and I don't care about what he eats in the morning, or what he doing in the night. I'm not interested by that. And for me, an artist is something mystical, something inaccessible, something magical, and yes, it's when it's the girl next door or the boy next door, it's David Bowie. I think David Bowie. Nobody wanted to know his personal life. We don't care about that.
Right. Well, I mean, back in the day, we used to read magazines, and then, you had maybe a paragraph or two of what their personal life was like. But I think, with the introduction of the reality TV, and then obviously with Instagram, where people were just posting and posting and posting, and it just kind of seems like the attention spans have gone away. Um, I haven't met many young people these days that actually, buy posters of a favorite band, wait for, the music from a favorite band, because I think the record labels especially know that you need to push something out constantly.
Mhm.
And therefore I think the pricing structure has changed a lot, because on Apple iTunes, which was the hottest ticket that you can get on back when I started producing music, you were making a lot more money than you do today for 1,000 streams. 3/1000ths of a penny is not a ton of money there.
That's why for me, Spotify and Apple Music is not a social media, because we keep the mystery that surrounds artists, because I like the Spotify session, for example. They have some things like that to share music of artists in a different way. And even if there is million and million tracks every day put on this platform, it's a way. I'm French, and before Spotify, before Apple Music, it was like impossible to have a music life all around the world. We were keep in our country, and now it's we are access at the world, and it's new, and it's because of this platform. But there is many artists, so it's harder to find a place in there. But there is a way. There is a way. For me, music has its own way, and because of YouTube, of Spotify, Apple Music, you put it doesn't cost nothing. It's free. You put your music, and after it doesn't belong to you, and music can maybe one time cross the oceans and find a new audience. So for me, it's a good thing.
There are definite benefits to it. This is for sure. Like you said, it's very accessible. But off of Spotify, for example, is there any musician that you really like, and that you follow on a consistent basis, that is new?
Yes, a lot. For me, the algorithm of Spotify is the best, because they know exactly what I like, and I discover many artists on Spotify. Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this: being a woman in music, especially, do you do you think that, I'm not going to say that it's a male dominated market? There are a lot of males and there are a lot of females, obviously. Do you think that it's a little bit maybe easier or more difficult to get out there being a woman in music? And what are some of your trials and tribulations that you've had, pushing your career forward?
Mm. When I started music, it was in jazz music, and it was essentially to sing jazz standards, and it was a long time ago. But I remember to feel being a woman in jazz music. There is only one way: is you are a singer, and very few are musicians or composer. And there is something pejorative, something
I'll have to look it up.
pejorative,
Plagiarism.
pejorative.
Pejorative. Okay.
Yes, pejorative.
Pejorative. Yes.
Yes, something pejorative to be a woman in jazz music, because you're just a singer. You don't read the music. You don't know about the chords and no. I was a singer. I read music. I know about the harmonies, the chords, but I feel no considered in music at this time. And after, when I started to produce more electronic music, and when I started to go alone on stage, I can realize in electronic music is the same. There is a few women. Sometimes they are DJ, but not a lot, not often as a producer, as a composer. And it's the same for music, for films. There is a very few women composer, and I don't know why. But yes, it's a reality.
It is a reality. Hopefully, we can overcome that, because I do think that more people need to hear your music. I personally, I'm a big fan, by the way. So this is a very exciting interview for me here. So let's see. Let's get on to Unica, because I know that one of your first steps to transitioning into electronic here was Unica herself. So please tell us about Unica.
Unica, it's my digital sister. She's the main character of my album. It's a concept album, and it's the story of Unica, how she was born, how I met her, how she emancipates and become finally at the end of the album an artificial intelligence and unique and free and independent entity. And it's because for me, I spend a lot of time in my studio with my machines and keyboards and computer, and sometimes I started to feel like a connection because accident, numeric accident, what we call that happy accident, put me and give me new ideas and new vision of maybe the track I was working on, and I finally asking myself, I'm not alone, we are two. It's very strange, and I decided to each time I create something or compose something, I create with the machine. So I search the accident, I search the crash, the bug, and because I know there is something behind, and there is something sometimes I couldn't find alone by myself. And after that, I decided to work with artificial intelligence with Spotify. So in the album, there is one track created in collaboration with AI. And actually, I'm working with Sony CSL in France because they have amazing new tools of AR, incredible, and it's a new way to create music, and I like it a lot. And as I am a poetic person, I translate this relation by a character, and her name is Unica.
It's very interesting. The link will be up here because I know you went a lot more in depth when you were doing your TED talk over there with Unica. So the link will pop up here, and then go check that out, and you'll get the whole story of Unica, who Unica is, and the happy accident that took place where she ended up in your act here. So the album that you were talking about, this is the album Pegasus.
No, it's somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. Okay.
Yes. We
So
made it we in a lot of sessions for 1 year. 1 year, I used to go at Spotify Studios 1 day per week, and the AI generate a lot of idea of chords, of melody, of sounds, inspiring by my voice, my own voice, my own chord progression, my own melodies, and the IA mix everything and generate things. And after that, I had to edit things I like, but never transform and never change everything. Just have choice of what I want to keep and edit. And after 1 year, there is this song, and I know it's a real collaboration.
that must have been very interesting. I'll have to check that out. How have your musical influences basically shaped not let's go beyond the music here a little bit. So how have your influences shaped your style and your appearance and your kind of like drive towards music, or is that everything that is kind of like thought up on your own here?
Hmm. I think my musical inspirations are different. They are at the same time electronic, classical, cinematographic, because I'm a big fan of music for films. My favorite composer is Ryuichi Sakamoto. For me, is the best. And after I discovered the woman pioneer of electronic music, Laurie Anderson, and for me it was a revelation. And at the same time, I have the jazz I listened to when I was young, and when I discovered electronic music, it was the trip hop of Portishead, of Massive Attack, and I think all these influences exist in my music. There is a little part of all these influences, and I don't know if you can listen, but I know there is a part of this all things.
Yeah, I could definitely hear Massive Attack, and their Massive Attack, another great band here. We'll leave a link up there for them. What are the plans for the future? What do you have going on? Are you working on another album? Are you
Yes.
focusing on maybe doing a little bit more live tours? Are you going to be on TV anytime soon again? What are the plans for the future here?
Yes, I begin to I just is the beginning, but I'm working now on my new album. And before this new album, at the same time, I'm working on the volume 2 of French classical variation. I released it in 2019, and the concept was to readapt in an electronic way and personal way very famous French classical team about the beginning of 20th century, like Eric Satie, Maurice Ravel, Debussy, all these great artists. And I thought it was funny to readapt this masterpiece of classical in an electronic way, because the 20th century, in a way, begin with Maurice Ravel and ending in France with Daft Punk.
Oh yeah.
So that's the way to connect the beginning and the end of the 20th century. And it was a very exciting project, and I'm working now on the volume 2, and at the same time on my next album. And I'm working. I have a side project. It takes a lot of time now, with a French producer living in Los Angeles. His name is Joachim Garraud, and this and we have a project very. We hope to have a lot of concerts with this project, because it's for dancing people.
Okay.
So it's very different of my own project, and for me it's like a recreation. It's a free time, and it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, well, music progresses. We must progress with it, right? So, I mean, wherever the talent comes out. So, what are as far as music is concerned, and in your future in music, what are some of your personal dreams and your goals and your aspirations for that?
My big dream is I would like one day, I would like to compose for films. So I like, because when I compose now for the beginning, I have like a movie, an imaginary movie in my head, and for me the relation between image and music is connected all the time. That's why it's important for me to work with director on music videos. When I release a track, it's important for me to tell a story with my music, but also with the images. And for few time, I started to do the work in the other side. So sometimes I write music on images, and for me it's a dream. So I began by the beginning, short movie, things for TV sometimes, but yes, the goal is one day to make music for a movie.
For films, awesome. That would definitely be a great feat, getting licensing for movies here. Digging a little bit deeper, what does music mean to you personally, inside your heart, your passion that you have, obviously, for music? What does it mean to you?
I remember of this question, and it's strange to realize finally music for me is like a therapy. From the beginning, for me, music is the way to understand myself, to love myself, and to find something deep, and to look at that, and to accept it, and to grow with that, growing with music. And after a long time, it's the way to share this travel, this inside travel, with the others. And because I'm a very lonely solitaire person. I like to work alone in my studio for a long time on something I have in my heart and my mind. And all this time, I'm thinking about the moment, the short moment I could share it on stage with an audience, with other people, and it's very magical to understand. More you go deep inside to find something, and more you can share with the others. Because when I am alone on stage and I finally share my song and my music after all this lonely time, I realize there is a real connection with people. I don't know why, I don't know, but it's very strong, and it's good for heart, for soul, for everything. And yes, for me, music is like that.
Amazing. I'd love to see you on stage sometime. Next time you're in New York, maybe I'll be able to pop out and get to see you there. So in a perfect world, what do you think music would be? How do you think artists? Let me rephrase that question. I know I had a thought in mind when I wrote the question. I just can't.
Because music for me, the interest in of music is different if you are a musician, or if you are a listener, or if you are a producer. It's different. So it's difficult to have a general thought about music, because for musician the best is to play every day, to have concerts in all the world, because there is country we know music is allowed, is forbidden. So yes, but for listeners, the ideal for the music is all the music is free and accessible for everyone. Producers is the ideal world will be a world where every kind of music could have a place to exist and to be listening, because sometimes in radio or TV we have just one kind of music possible to hear and discover. So it's not easy to answer this question.
It's not. Like I said, I know I had a specific question in mind. It was formulated a week ago when I was thinking about it, but I just I can't articulate it now, because as you said, there's many stages and many depths to music, whether you're a fan or you're a producer. You're absolutely right about that. So going back to something that you had said, when you're picturing a story in your mind and you have this movie playing when you're creating a song, what's the story, and what point is Unica, at what point to her realization of self is Unica with the song Unica's Cloud?
Hovering over my head, memories, video replay. The
UNICAST Cloud is it's the moment of the album where Unica show us her personal and her own world. That's clearly her cloud, and in this cloud, she can share with us the feelings, emotions, her goals, her dreams. That's a very. I was inspiring for this track by the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix and the voice of Scarlett Johansson, and where Joaquin Phoenix fell in love of this. I don't know the name for that, but the system, the computer system.
Yeah, the virtual assistant, something like Siri.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. And she during the film, the movie, she shares with him her life and her world, and it's very interesting to imagine she has a world, and she has problem very different of human, like she can be she has the ubiquity gift, so she can be at different place at the same time, and for him it's very complicated to understand, and for me UNICAST Cloud is this place, a place it's hard for us to understand what is this place, but with the music we can feel and share with her what is this numeric world.
It's fantastic. It's a fantastic song. It's a fantastic video. We'll have the link up here or in the video description, so be sure to check that one out. I guarantee that you'll love it. Let me ask you also, because I want to know if I'm right about this, because I've watched obviously your music video Life as well, and where you're playing with the symphony and there's the little girl there in the seats. My take on this was the little girl was you falling in love with music. Am I right about that, or am I wrong? The little girl in the video is you falling in love with music. I'm wrong?
The little girl is in a way Unica. It's a version of Unica, because Unica in the movie, in the music video UNICAST Cloud, she's in a drone mud, a drone. So she has different faces and different forms, and in this audience, the little girl is a version of Unica.
Okay, that makes more sense. So, I noticed on the Bastille Day Festival when you were on stage, you had the red jumpsuit on,
Mhm.
um, where usually you're wearing the trademark white jumpsuit. Was the white jumpsuit just something that you were doing for Pegasus and for UNICAST Cloud? What was the story with the white jumpsuit?
For me, it's the story of the jumpsuit is the like the I am a scientist. I am a scientist of music, of sounds. Uh, uh, I am in my laboratory, and I'm creating sounds, and I'm creating unica, like a scientist searching every day something with explorations, and for me, when I am on stage, it's I want to show to people exactly what is my laboratory, and I put all my instruments on stage, and I want the audience share with me this experience of exploration, of searching something, and that's why I feel like a scientist with my jumpsuit. And also, it's a collaboration with a great designer, French designer. Her name is Carolina Ritzler, and she's amazing. She's a very great artist too, and it's like a scientist jumpsuit, but more fashion.
I understand. So, we're gonna close this off here very shortly. But I know Fanny Hellard, your PR rep, had mentioned to me, I think last year, as a matter of fact, she mentioned that you were going to be starting a Twitch channel, I believe, where you were going to be doing some live sessions. Is that something that's still in the works, or have you become too busy for it? Like, done?
Yes,
What do you think?
yes. I didn't have the time yet to build my Twitch channel, but 1 year ago I had an amazing experience. It was a live streaming all the night on Twitch with UNICEF, and it was about video games and the challenges and the défis between gamers and between musicians, and it was to record money for UNICEF. So it was for 24 hours long, and it was a very nice experience. My first experience on Twitch, to perform in live during two people have a fight with a video game, and yes, after that I decided to create my own chain, and but didn't have the time.
Just no time. I get it.
Yes. But I would like to do that one day.
Was the a big part of the big sound that you did with Mathilde on the violin, was that part of the Twitch stream, or was that something that was
No, it's
separate?
different. No, it was another time.
just a dream if no reflection you can see. You're not sleeping in the matrix, you're a big part of a big sun. Big part of a big sun. Big part of a big, big sun. Your soul into the smallest things you do every day. When your heart's in many pieces, ask if it is just a dream. Put this pain into your voice and let the music dry your tears. You're not sleeping in the matrix, you're a big part of a big, big sun. You're not sleeping in the matrix. You're a big part of a big, big sun. You're not sleeping in the matrix. You're a big part of a big sun. Big part of a big sun. You're a big part of a big, big sun.
With Mathilde, it was at my studio. So it was because there is a story between around this song and between together, because we were together in an island in France with no connection, no Wi-Fi, no phones, nothing, and with the idea to create music just with the nature and the elements of nature. So we are together to work on our own project. But I remember when this song arrived in my mind, I was walking near the ocean, and I hear strings in my mind, and it was a little new at this time, and I know it's because they were at we were in the same house. So when I come back in house, I told her, can you please record all the strings I listened? And Mathilde is a very talented musician, composer, artist, and she can record like an orchestra, a string orchestra with just one one violin.
Well,
She's amazing.
I noticed between the two of you, you were a completely unstoppable force with that live session. Live session is going to be coming up here, so check that out. DeLaurentis, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to sit down and talk with us. Do you have any closing thoughts for us here?
It was a pleasure to discuss with you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. We'd love to have you on board again. Maybe when you release the next album, we could sit down and talk. So I'd like for you, please, to send me all the links that you were talking about for the AI for your fashion designer.
Yes,
co-collaboration.
with pleasure.
Yeah, and so that way we can promote everybody that's in the DeLaurentis world here. And once again, thank you very much for joining us, folks. Remember to hop down into the video description here, check out all the videos that we talked about. If you hit any of the pop-ups that were coming on for the TED Talks, The Voice, you obviously know here that DeLaurentis is the real deal. She's making a career out of music, hopefully for all the other independent artists out there, remember, like DeLaurentis had mentioned, hard work pays off. Work, 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 work. You'll eventually get to where you need to be. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. Please stick around for a second once we're done recording. To everybody else, please remember to like, share, subscribe, visit DeLaurentis' YouTube channel, as well as her all her social media accounts will be listed in the video description below. Thank you very much again for the Underground Sound. I am DJ Xtech. Have a good night.
Thank you, Tom. Bye.